am here now.
Ek het vir julle gesê ek gaan daai song oor en oor speel. Is my nuwe favorite ABBA song. Don't Shut Me Down. Ek sit hier so in Kaapstad Radio Kaapse Karmenaatjie tyd 12 en 3 saam met Martez Saporta-Rothuysen. Ons gaan nou praat oor jou naam. Want jy's Spaans en jou man is Hollands.
Hollandse afkoms, Hollands en Ierse afkoms.
Ja.
En so ja, Loui, dankie. Dis baie lekker om hier by julle te wees. It's a great privilege. And I am 'n mengelmoes met hierdie name.
'n mengelmoes, but mengelmoes is nou dis nou nie die triple M waar triple M gaan nie. So jy is triple M multi-management agency. So jy was 'n modeling agency, maar jy kyk nou na akteurs, jy kyk na sangers,
Dis
na
reg, alle talent basies. It's really about being inclusive. And the market has changed. It's changed a lot. It's not very model-oriented or very actor-oriented. Of course, there is a space still for everyone.
Yes.
But we're at this place now where people are wanting to see real. They are wanting to experience, more lifestyle kind of people.
Yeah, because it's not everybody is 6 foot. I mean, you are beautiful.
Thank you.
Not
So
everybody
you.
is 6 foot, and I think everybody should celebrate all sizes and all shapes and all talents. Just because you've got a talent, you're not pretty, I think then
Absolutely.
that's what they used to do.
Yes, and the thing is, beauty comes from within. I know
Absolutely.
it sounds cliched, but it really is true. And it's wonderful that all shapes and sizes and talents are being celebrated today.
Absolutely. So let's start. Let's go back you.
Yes.
Miss PE,
Oh my gosh, back
Yes.
in 1989.
1989. What did you want to be when you grew up?
I think most people want to be, or most kids want to be vets when they're little, so I
Yes.
went through that stage. Then I really wanted to be an actress, and I was doing everything to get there. So I was doing acting classes in Port Elizabeth, and my mom had signed me up to Peggy Sue's Charm and modeling school. So I was doing the whole deportment thing and the modeling thing.
Yeah.
And then I got to, actually I finished my schooling in Cape Town and got my marks back, and they were great, thank you God. And was literally ready to go and apply for a drama course
Yes.
at UCT. And as I got to the front, I thought, oh my gosh, there's no future in this country as an actress. I'm going to study law. And I literally just in that moment changed everything that I was doing, signed up for law, managed about a year in that, because halfway through that, I got a call to say I'm through to the semi-finals of Miss Port Elizabeth. And I was like,
So
sorry?
Did you enter?
No,
Or did your
no.
mother enter? Or?
It was a colleague of my mum. So I was like, but I didn't enter. They said, yes, you did. We've got everything in front of us, and you through,
Yes.
because of your images.
Yes.
I was like, okay. So I called my mum. I was like, how am I going to do this? I'm living in Cape Town now. They said, no, it's absolutely fine, and it's an experience. You know what? You're probably not going to win anyway, so just do it for the fun of it. And what happened? I went and won Miss PE. And then I was literally traveling backwards and forwards from Cape Town to PE to fulfill everything that I had to do for Miss Port Elizabeth. And through Miss Port Elizabeth, I got through to the semi-finals of Miss SA,
Yes.
which was really awesome. And I got through to the last 12. I went up to Johannesburg, and one of my dearest and closest friends now ended up being my roommate back then. And that set me off on the whole modeling path, because she said to me, no, I think you must join my agency. And that was Mulligan's Models back in the day, and they were like
Huge.
the
Huge.
agency.
The best, yeah.
Yeah. And so that's basically where that whole journey started. And then I ended up doing full-time modeling for 25 years of my life. I traveled the world. It was the most incredible experience. I can honestly say I was blessed. I don't think many people have the opportunity to experience so many cultures and actually get paid whilst doing it. So
Having fun, yeah. So you've actually not worked a day in your life, basically.
well, beg to differ.
No, I know.
Yeah, no, I think there are so many sides to the modeling game and also to the acting game. Yes, when it comes to hard work, it's most certainly not hard work. But for
But
anybody,
it is hard work. People think it's a model, you stand in front of a camera and that's it. It's not.
no.
It's,
And this is what I was getting to, is it is emotionally quite exhausting. It's not that physically draining, other than if you've got something crazy to do and maybe you're doing a bit of stunt work. But other than that, it is quite taxing. You've got to be on your best behavior. If you're having a bad day, you can't show it. You know, it's all about being professional. You have to be on time.
Yes.
You've got to understand that it's hurry up and wait, and
Yes.
don't let your nose, get out
That's
of
the
joints.
thing.
That's the thing. So, yeah.
with everything as well, TV work, or this is my favorite part, because this is not radio is not hurry up and wait. You know you're going to be 12 o'clock to 3
Yes.
o'clock, but with movies as well, you go to the, you go, you sit, makeup, and you still wait, and then you have like an hour's work, but you were there for 12 hours.
Exactly. I mean, I remember doing something where they actually just wanted to use me as a hand model. And they got me onto set, and they realized that they needed some special machinery for another shot. And I got into studio, I think it was like 8 a.m. They only started working way overtime. They started working with me at like, I think 4 o'clock that afternoon. And we went right into the night. I think I ended up wrapping at like 11, because it was just stopping and starting because of all these issues. But, it was just be calm, do your thing.
And it's just your hand.
It was just my hand.
All these hours. I would have taken a billboard and say, that's my hand.
That's
12
my
hours later. So how long? You've said 26 years you were in the industry.
Full time, 25 years of my life, but
Yes.
I've been in it now for over 30 years.
And then how did the agency start then?
Very interesting as well. I never planned to have my own agency. And my husband for a long time was saying to me, Martez, you know what, you really could be doing this. I said, but I just love being in front of the camera, and I don't know if the agency thing is for me. And then a very close friend of mine, Lisa King, she...
Lovely. So.
Yeah, she's divine. Lisa said to me, Martez, when are you doing this thing? Come, this weekend. And I actually went, we had a girlies weekend, and she said, right, you are now actually going to register the name. And we deliberated over that name, because initially it was Martez Model Management.
Yes.
And I was like, oh no, I don't know if I want to do this, because it's just so like, it's your name. And we spoke to a few people, and they said, you're known in the industry, so start out like that at least. So that's why it was birthed as that.
Yes.
And then as the whole acting side of things grew, I just felt, we do need to make the name all-inclusive as well.
Yes.
And that's how it then changed to Triple M, and it's now Triple M, a multi-management agency.
So you were Miss PE, then top
12 in Miss SA.
of Miss SA, and then your first acting job, what was that?
It was as a extra in Blood Diamond.
Really?
way
Oh,
back
wow.
when.
Yeah.
And we were actually we had the most incredible jewels around our necks. It never made it into the final edit. We had bodyguards surrounding us throughout the filming process, because it was literally hundreds of thousands of rands worth of diamonds.
Yes.
And in the end, that was cut, but I did make it in as extra in a courtroom scene where, I'm just sitting there clapping my hands, and I was like, oh my gosh, you get so excited when these little things happen.
Yes.
And then, for it to then grow and to be involved in other films after that. But in terms of the feature film side of things, nothing that I can really say, in terms of films that you're going to recognize. It's been a lot of short films and some independent feature films. But
we're going to get to that, because
Yes.
there is you're busy with something big now,
yes,
which was going to be, now let me get it right, Dancing with Faith.
yes,
But now the name has changed to
the
The
choice.
Choice. Tell me about that.
Okay, so quite a number of years ago, I went to a talk, and Elizabeth Robertson Campbell was there, and she was talking about this book that she wrote, The Choice. And my business partner at the time and I had co-written a feature film called Choices, and it was an icebreaker, saying to her, oh my gosh, similar titles. And from then on, we actually became friends, and she called me up the one day and she said to me, Martez, won't you just hold my hand? Because I'm going to meet with all of these producers and I feel a little bit out of my depth. And I said, sure, no problem. And went along, and the conversation was kind of going around in circles. And before I knew it, I stepped in and I started giving my input. And the writer, Romano Gourlay, who's also the most incredible director and producer, he's done quite a few series. And he was like, come, let's shoot a pilot. I was like, okay. And the next thing I was on board, and I did not realize that I was actually producing this project until 3 days into having written out scripts, call sheets. I looked up, and my agency had literally just started. And I had my staff. It was basically my friend Phyllis Ungura of many, many years, who had come on board as my bookkeeper, and Teresa, who is my one and only booker. And we were busy chatting. We was like, oh, this is exciting. We're going to help them with this project. And I looked up and I went, oh my word, girls, we are producing. How did this happen? And they were just like, how did this happen? You know, it was insanity. Yeah. And we went and we produced. It was phenomenal. It was a 3-day shoot. And when I tell you, it was filled with miracles. It really was. Yeah. It is a faith-based love story. And that happened. And then I was like, okay, great. You know, that's it. Kind of pulled away from it, but always there on the sidelines. And about 2 years ago, Liz called me. She said, I've got exciting news. We've got this amazing director, Doron Aaron from Israel, who's read the script. He's super excited. He wants to jump on board. He's coming out to South Africa. Come, have dinner with us. So I joined them for dinner. Yeah. Again, just thinking I'm just there. And, well, a few months down the line after that, I had chatted to Bruce McDonald of Boomtown Films and asked if he would be able to facilitate the South African side of the production. Yeah. And absolutely. And the next thing I knew they asked me to produce the film. So, wow.
Amazing.
That's really amazing. I'm very excited. Yes. I think, I've been so involved with the journey, which is why it just made sense to everyone. And there have been many other projects along the way to basically try and move this film along. As you know, it's been quite restrictive with COVID. Cinema came to a standstill.
The whole entertainment industry came.
Exactly, from the modeling,
acting, singers.
It's been tough. Yeah. And we know that there's always, money to spend on more important things. But this really is a film that is going to change hearts, and it brings so much hope. And it's truly what the world needs right now. So I'm really excited. I know it's going to happen when the time is right. And just hold on to your seats.
You did tell me a little bit about it, and it sounds to me, it's a notebook kind of movie. Yeah. That type of heartfelt love story, basically.
Yes.
To take it from there.
Just beautiful, with lots of twists and turns.
Ooh, I like twists and turns. Story of my life, just twists and turns.
You're gonna love it.
But you are, and there is, it's a progress. You become a model, then you become a presenter or a actress. Yes. What's your favorite hat that you would wear?
I really do love acting, but I feel even as a model, you need to know how to act. It's about transformation, You have to become that person they want to see on screen.
Yes.
And
what you're selling.
Yes. Yeah. And gone are the days of just a pretty face. They're wanting to see the warmth. They're wanting to see that, people are skilled. And I think what I really, truly love about acting is you can be anybody.
Kaapstad Radio Koopkaap.
You can be anybody, sorry.
You can be anybody. That's all. It was just on time.
It was.
It was. I love it.
But I think let's just save that quickly, and then we'll go to the shops, and then we will carry on.
Fantastic.
You two, it's a beautiful day, and it is a beautiful day, and I'm sitting here with a beautiful lady in Kaapstad Radio Stasie, Martez. Martez, welcome, and thank you for sharing your time with us. We were talking about movies. You involved in everything, from Miss Port Elizabeth in 1989 to modeling, traveling.
Everything.
Everything, absolutely everything. What's your favorite?
You know, it's very difficult to pick one because I adore being in front and behind the camera. So I'd like to sit on the fence with that one because for as long as I can, I would love to do both.
Yes, and you can.
Yes.
I mean, honestly, I think, especially with modeling, you have such a short span. But I mean, you're still doing it. You're still working.
Exactly.
30 years later.
What is incredible, and I think that's now, especially with that everything has become so much more commercial.
Yes.
It gives so much more longevity. I mean, commercial models always worked longer, but there is just so much opportunity now. I mean, we've got people on our books who are in their late 80s and they are working. So never say never, you know?
No, absolutely, never say never. And the thing is as well, like we said earlier, you don't have to be 6'2" anymore and skinny because you can just celebrate all beauty.
It's all about diversity, exactly, and depending on what the client's needs are.
What do you look for in a model?
You know, for us, it's about the complete package. It's not just about the looks, as we've discussed. It's about how we feel they are going to actually fit when it comes to when they go into productions, when they attend their castings. Are they good people's, people? Are they the kind of people that we know will be reliable? And it's not always so easy to judge that off the bat.
Yes.
But generally you get a good feel when you have an interview. And I have pretty long interviews with newcomers, and I like to have those interviews myself so that I know exactly who I've got on my books. I've got the most incredible team, and we share, obviously all the information, but I just feel it's good to have that hands-on approach.
Yes.
And I must just add that I've got the most incredible team, and I know they are out there listening now. So hello, Avia and Melisha and Phyllis and Tobbs, who's still there in the background for us, and Rico, who does our social media. So I just want to say thank you, guys. I love you all so much and appreciate you for all the hard work that you do.
Thank you, guys. And I've actually, when we go into your agency, I've been there a couple of times. It's a nice, warm feeling. It really is like family. You've got you've got a great team.
Thank you. And that is what it's about. It's about communication.
Absolutely.
And as long as you've got good communication with your bookers, you can really have a truly amazing career.
Yes.
And you obviously need to update your portfolios. You need to make sure that you're always on top of your game.
And always be early and always be professional, because you are your own working business card or business or company.
Yes. And I also want to add, when you said, what do we look for? Just because we're a multi-management agency doesn't mean we just accept everybody that applies. We do have to look at what the market is looking at the moment. We look at how many of the same people we have on our books. We want to make sure everyone has fair opportunity, because it's not possible for everyone to attend all of the castings. So if you end up having 20 to 30 people in a category, only 5 of them might get chosen to audition. Because, and this is something that's maybe good to clarify for listeners out there when it comes to the casting process. Yes, agents receive the briefs, but the final selection process is done through the casting directors, the producers, or the client.
The client, yes.
So you might not get to cast, even if your agent thinks you're absolutely fabulous and suited for that role.
I also think with modeling, you need to, like with modeling or acting, you need such a thick skin, because jou ma en jou pa en jou boetie en jou sussie sê almal, ja, hy is die mooiste meisie daar, and you might be, but it's just not what the client is looking for.
Ja, dit is
It doesn't mean that jy's nie goed genoeg nie. It's just what the client wants, and you need to have a really tough skin to be in this industry, because you can go to 20 castings per day and nobody wants you.
Dit is so waar, Loui. Die ding is, jy weet, die nee is baie meer as die ja's.
Dit is.
Ja, en moet dit nie persoonlik vat nie, want dit kan vir enige rede onder die son wees wat jy eintlik nie gekies het nie. It could be anything from you are being booked potentially as the sister, and the little brother's role is more important. You are their favorite, but unfortunately you don't look anything like little brother. And then they end up choosing somebody else. So don't beat yourself up.
No, absolutely, absolutely not. So what advice would you give to?
I would say try to be as confident as possible. It's easier said than done. But take every opportunity as that, an opportunity to have fun, an opportunity to showcase your talent.
Yes.
You might not get chosen for that one, but the director might just remember you and ask for you for another time.
Exactly.
Or you are so on your game all the time that the casting director say, well, that person, we want to see at every single casting because they're always well prepared. They, are great in performance. So those are the things. And when it comes to the rejection, don't be hard on yourself. Don't think, oh, I'm too fat, I'm too thin, I'm too this, I'm too that.
Yeah.
There will always come a time where it's going to be the right moment just for you.
Absolutely.
And I've been through that. I mean, being a full-time model for 25 years of my life, you go through times where you think, okay, well, now I'm too old. And my husband gave me the best advice, and it was exactly that. He said, my love, there's always going to be somebody younger or more beautiful out there. You're just going to have to deal with it.
Yes.
As long as you know that you are the most beautiful woman to me. And I was like, oh.
But you are the most beautiful woman to us and to PE and to Miss South Africa. So.
Oh, that's very sweet. I'm actually blushing.
But that's the thing. And don't be a diva. Always be kind. Because if you're going to have a little attitude, nobody's going to want to work with you anymore. And I think you're so lovely. That's why you've been working for 30 years or however long.
That is true. I know that the longevity in my career has been because of professionalism, because of being able to work well with children, being able to work well with animals.
Yes.
They look at those kind of things as well.
Yes.
And, never think that you are fantastic or too fantastic because you're only as good as your last job. So if you're going to throw your little tantrum, well, sorry, love, that's the end.
That's it, and they won't. You'll never work in this town again if you've got that attitude.
Exactly.
What was your biggest life lesson?
My biggest life lesson, I think, was just that, to realize that you are not always going to be able to book everything, no matter how well prepared you are.
Yeah.
And it is tough when you are somebody who is very driven, and I am very driven.
Yes.
I like to give, I mean, they say there's no such thing than, as 110%, but I really do go the extra mile, and it can be disappointing at times. And I've had to learn to just deal with that and just say, you know what, Martez, it's okay. And sometimes it happens for a real reason. That other person maybe needed that job far more than even though I thought I needed it at the time. There is always somebody who might need it more. That is a really good lesson to learn. That is so true. Yeah.
Let's talk about your family life. Obviously, you're still so in love with your husband. Family, kids.
Yeah, I'm very fortunate.
Your daughter looks exactly like you.
Thank you. Zoran, she is 17, and I don't know where the time went. When I met my husband, it's one of those stories where, they say it's love at first sight. For us, it actually wasn't. I mean, yes, we thought, wow, he's gorgeous, she's gorgeous, whatever. But it took time for it to develop. And I had been in other relationships. And every time he tried to reach out to me, he was like, well, when are you actually going to be available to go out with me? And I was like, sorry, but I just can't do this because I'm, dating somebody else. And eventually everything just kind of lined up. And we bumped into each other at a club of all things.
Listen, I met my husband there. It didn't work out for me, but I mean, you're still happy.
Lucky for me, it did. And we went and had our first dinner, and well, the rest is history. And I'm very fortunate to have a supporting husband. He is so supportive of my career. He is the kind of man that allows me to spread my wings, and we've got that kind of trust relationship, and I think that's why it works.
Yes.
I believe it's so important that we all have separate lives as much as we have our lives that are together. And yes, we spend probably 95% of our time together now, but that other 5%, make sure that you spend it with your friends. Make sure that you
still be Martez and still be
absolutely.
Yes. So
and
never forget who you are.
100%, because that's the quickest way you can actually kill your relationship by trying to change and smother the person that you're with.
Yes.
And we very fortunate with Zoran. She actually said to us the one day, you know, Mom and Dad, you're quite lucky. I love spending time with you. I was like, you're so right. Most teens are like, later,
Absolutely.
Yeah, we've got a very close-knit relationship. We love doing things together. We've always had a very open relationship with our daughter in terms of saying to her, feel free to talk to us about anything. You know, it's better to be well equipped than to have things go wrong because you feel you can't discuss it with your parents. And I think because of that, there is such an incredible trust as well within the family bond.
And I feel, you know, as a mother of two, I feel that is so important. My kids are my best friends. In fact, after this afternoon, my youngest one and I are going to have the same tattoo done.
Amazing.
That's where we are now.
I love it. And they are gorgeous.
They are
Gorgeous. I love your boys.
But also, I want them to know if something happened, it's not, what's my mom going to say? It's like, I need to call my mom.
Yes.
And I can see that relationship with you and it's the biggest compliment, actually. You know, if your kids actually like you as a person or wants to hang out with you.
100%. And I think another important thing, you know, a lot of people in this industry, people will ask the question, but now, is your daughter going to be a model? Is your daughter going to do this? I never forced it on her, but she literally came out of the womb doing it. It was bizarre. And at the age of 4, she was walking around with like a little moon bag filled with makeup. And she never saw me with makeup because when I got home after work, she would be asleep, you know, and she was just like, makeup artist. My daughter can do the most incredible makeup. Really? I am so absolutely in awe. And she's a natural in front of the camera, but she chooses when she wants to. Her schooling is very important to her. So she's always put that first. And again, so lucky. I've never had to go, okay, now I don't think, you know, you should be doing this casting because you should be concentrating on your studies. I'll be the one going, don't you want to audition for this? And she'll be going, no, Mom, I've got a test coming up. I've got this happening.
I can't do that.
So
I can't do that.
Exactly. So quite incredible.
What do you do in your spare time?
I told you I was going to laugh when you asked me that question. I don't have much spare time, but I do love to paint. And once upon a time, I actually used to paint quite a lot. And during a bit of off time now, Zora and I actually went to do a little bit of a sketch class, which was great fun. Did that together. My husband, again, is not very arty, but he loves working with his hands, and he's very much an entrepreneur. So it's a very interesting balance, you know, our family life with that business aspect. And I think that's what drove me as well to then eventually start that agency.
So how does he cope with like the glamour or the glamour side of your life? You've got a beautiful daughter that's a model. You've got, you know, Miss Port Elizabeth. How does he cope? Or do he just...
You know, Anton,
take it in his stride.
He totally takes it in his stride. You know, he's one of those very direct kind of guys as well. And he's like, you know, if you're given rope, you know, do what you want to do with it. But there is so much trust, which has been great. And a very funny story. He used to have a business that was opposite an agency. And this agent used to come in to his business every single day. And she'd be like, please, will you join our books? Please, will you join our books? And he was like, no. And we'd been dating then at the time. And eventually, when I was pregnant with Zoran, we were like, okay, well, now that secondary income is going to dry up a bit. So he said, well, should I do this thing? I was like, babe, you should have done this ages ago. Do it. Yeah. Well, he booked every single casting he went to. I was the one that became envious. I was like, excuse me, I've been doing this for so long and you're just waltzing here and you're just like, hello.
Own it.
And I think it's because he's just so, like, he's professional, but he also doesn't, you know, it's like, whatever. If it happens, it happens, you know. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Yeah. So, and we've worked together a lot as well. And we've been booked together as a family, which has been special. And those times have been our off days. Where,
but this is so funny because people are probably thinking, look how nicely they matched that model and that, you know, the man and the woman and the child. They look at, you know, and then it is actually a real family.
And then it's real. But we've also auditioned where we've been, for sure, the three of us are going to get booked. And then only one of us get booked and they put us with a different family. So you just never know.
And with COVID, I mean, everybody's been struggling. So is it
Yes.
picking up again now?
It is picking up. I'm very, very excited to say that more and more castings are coming in. We pray that it's going to continue. We
Yeah.
pray that, things are going to open up more. It's been very tough, especially for the Cape Town industry, because we rely heavily on international clients.
Yes.
I would say at least 90% of my clients are international. So
Yes.
we had a very long dry spell, but where there's a will, there's a way, and there's always hope. And we are seeing more and more companies springing up again, and I'm excited. I'm excited for the future.
Yeah, and it's we're going into in season again now.
Yes,
which
yes.
is soon, and hopefully we'll be able to travel and it'll pick up. I think
Yes.
personally, you're a beautiful woman. You're phenomenal. You've got a beautiful heart, and how would you like to be remembered?
Well, I just want to say thank you for that.
That's
And-
only the truth. Only the truth.
And that is how I'd like to be remembered, being honest, being caring, being somebody who has, watches out for others. That has been a big thing for me as well within my agency.
Yes.
I love to see people grow. And for me, then I'm doing something right. I'm doing
Yes.
something right when I see that nervous individual suddenly develop and flower into something, a better version of themselves.
Yes.
And I mean, you've had Sam Pegg in the studio here
Yes.
before, but Sam and I have done quite a few workshops together. And it's just, I just love it. We've also got Model Act with another girl called Michelle Janssen. And from time to time, when we have time outside of the businesses that we run, we do host workshops as well. Obviously,
Okay.
during COVID, we did something online. So we do have workshops available online at the moment.
Okay.
But when things open up again, we will like to do something in person again.
And where can people get hold of you?
They can get hold of me, I would say, through info@mmagency.co.za. Otherwise, I'm on Instagram. It's my full name, Martez Saporta-Rothuysen.
Okay.
There's also the Triple M Agency, Model Act, also on Instagram. Those are
But,
basically...
Yeah, the email address
Info.
at Triple M Agency.
Yes, and that is mmmAgency.co.za.
MMM Agency. So there you can get hold of Martez there. And I think whoever goes to you is in safe hands. And,
Thank you.
I mean, you're so talented and you've got an eye for everything and you're beautiful and your heart is beautiful. And I love you, Martez. I love you so
and
much.
I love you, and you're absolutely beautiful, Loui. And I really appreciate this time with you so
Thank
much.
you so much.
And I'm so excited to see your boys blossom even more. I mean, they've been doing so great, and I'm very excited to have them on my books.
Yes.
And and
Thank you.
nice to rope you in
Yeah,
now
yeah,
as well.
I've come out of retirement.
Finally.
I said yes. Okay, we'll do it. But thank you so much for coming. Thank you, really, really. We support you, and we will put on our website where we can get hold of you, or where our listeners can get hold of you. And please come visit again.
I would love to.
Please.
Thank you.
Hein loves having a beautiful woman in the station.
Hein.
He's very happy.
And it was so wonderful meeting you as well, Hein. Thank
I've
you.
never heard him this quiet. He's like gobsmacked. Today you are. But thank you so much, Martez. I really, really appreciate it.
Thank you,
And I
Loui.
love you.
Love you too.
We'll see you soon.
Blessings.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Dit was natuurlijk Martez and I just love her. She's just the most beautiful woman in Sightnet. She walked in and it was just, you could feel the warmth. Thank you, Martez. We're going to listen to a little bit of Julio Iglesias.